I can do what I want when I want to do it. I can do what I need when I need to get through it. When I need someone else, can't be too proud for help, but gotta look after myself. Sometimes it can get lonely, never living in the moment. When the sun is shining, hope that I'm reminded, like how the clouds keep changing. I'm always steady rearranging, going back to the basics of what a good day is. What a good day is. What a good day is. And that's exactly what the day is. But it's exactly what you make it. So please don't go wasting. And I'll do the same, even if it's raining. How could I complain? And my feels got me feeling some type of way. You always free to take a break. Hope you feel what I felt. You gotta look after yourself. Sometimes it can get lonely, never living in the moment. When the sun is shining, hope that I'm reminded, like how the clouds keep changing. I'm always steady rearranging, going back to the basics of what a good day is. 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 And that's
All
exactly
right.
what the day is.
We are back at it. It is that time. Y'all know what to do. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you could see me. We about to get into it. Shout out to everybody who's in the building. Great to see y'all this beautiful Wednesday morning. Looks like the sound is good, so we gonna check in and see how we looking as usual. Ooh wee! Looking all crispy and clean on the screen. Welcome y'all. Welcome back to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the Music Morning Show. I'm your host, Classy Beats of ClassyBeats.com. We got a great show for you today. Man, so many things have happened over the past 24 hours. I'm looking forward to talking to y'all about it. We've got some updates with YNW Melly. Drake is allegedly winning the lawsuit against UMG. Crazy. And then, of course, we're going to get back into the Naziah Harris trial. We're going to review some of the testimony that came from her family and also listen to closing arguments. So if y'all are ready for a great show, let me know what's up. Shout out to the family in here, though. I got to say what's up to y'all. I'm not late. I'm always on time. What are y'all talking about? Of course, my awesome, amazing Amy is in here. First thing, showing love. Nosy Rosie is in here harassing me. We got A-Fits, Rice Street with like number 63. Appreciate you. Ryan S. Deborah is in the building. Gerald, Taco Tuesday, Tanya, Valencia, Alabama, Gigi, Alejandra, the Honorable Attorney Kel Bell is in the building as well. Got to give a round of applause for Kel Bell. Jacqueline, Demetrius, he was in here harassing me too. We got Peter Steele. Shout out to y'all. I deserve it. Gwen, we got Aja in here. Good to see you, Aja. We've got Mr. Tesla, my guy, a Dutchie's mom, Monteresa, Paul, Trisha, Meg. We've got Mo Mac back at it. Letitia, good morning. Who else did I see in here? We've got Carla. We've got Boogster. Hopefully I said that right. Miss 86 is in here. Mr. Brown, good to see you. Jess Lee. And I think I got most of y'all. If I missed you in the chat, make sure you say good morning. I will be saying what's up to y'all as we go throughout the show. I'm gonna go ahead and fade this music out since they're saying I'm late today and get started with the show. But with that being said, if y'all could, please make sure that you like the video on your way in. Not only is it free, not only does it help the channel continue to grow, but it lets the YouTube algorithm know that y'all are enjoying the show and it shares the video with more people. We are on our way to 100,000 subscribers. I can believe it because, I mean, we put in the work, but I'm still shocked and surprised that 100K is right around the corner. seemingly overnight, we hit 97K. We're almost at 98K. And I can imagine in the next couple weeks, we'll be there. So let me know, what should we do for, I wasn't prepared for this. All right. I'm prepared for a lot of things. I was not prepared to hit 100K this soon. So I don't know. What we're going to do. Tell me what y'all think we should do. And we're going to go ahead and get into this show. Again, thank y'all so much for liking the video and supporting as always. Let's get into it. So starting out today, we've got some news we were waiting for in this YNW Melly trial. As y'all know, we reviewed last week what was going on in court. The judge, Judge Fiend seems like he's pretty fair when it comes to getting what he needs from both sides. We were waiting to find out if the search warrant for Raven Liberty was going to be shown to the defense. And the judge was like, hey, you guys need to supply this, saying that to the prosecution. The prosecution said, Judge, I don't think we have to give that to you. Judge Fiend said, okay, cool. That's fine. You don't think that? I don't care. You need to provide it. So the state has finally responded. And here's what they're saying about that search warrant for Raven Liberty's phone. What are they saying? An ordered search warrant on YNW Melly's attorney, Raven Liberty, was not provided to the court yesterday. And we found this out late yesterday afternoon. The state argues that Raven Liberty faces an actual conflict of interest due to the allegations of her criminal conduct, which potentially violates ethical standards and impairs her ability to provide effective counsel. Well, I see what the state is saying, but that's not up to them for them to decide. That is up to YNW Melly to decide. We talked about this last week when we covered it live. The judge made it very clear that the reason they're getting this information, or the defense is getting this information, is so YNW Melly can decide for himself whether he wants to keep Raven Liberty or whether he wants to seek new legal representation. And that goes for everybody on this case. Raven Liberty, the current lead attorney in this trial. So that's up to YNW Melly to decide, not the state. So we're actually going to look at what the state says they're trying to do. And also shout out to Melly Daily. I know we've got another amazing account to follow over on X. Y'all make sure you go check out Melly Daily. But here's what they're saying in the state's memorandum of law regarding the attorney conflict. All right. So we've got Jamel Demons. Y'all know that's YNW Melly versus the state of Florida. What is the state saying? Comes now. The state of Florida, by and through the undersigned assistant state attorney, and submits this memorandum of law regarding attorney conflict and comments as follows. On December 27, 2024, the defendant filed a motion for hearing to determine potential conflict. In this motion, it states the defendant's attorney, Raven Liberty, was informed on December 18, 2024 by Apple that on December 13th, so 5 days before, her Apple account information had been provided to the Broward Sheriff's Office pursuant to a search warrant. So she had no idea. They didn't tell her that she was under investigation. She did not know what was going on until Apple said, hey, Raven, the police are looking at your account. You might want to look into that, which is wild, but happens all the time. Monday, January 6th, this honorable court heard the defendant's motion. In addition, on January 6th, the state filed a motion for rehearing/reconsideration of the defendant's or tenant's motion to compel disclosure of the Apple search warrant related to the attorney Raven Liberty. Within this motion, in paragraph 11, the state mentions that regardless of the details of the investigation, Miss Liberty has an ethical obligation to withdraw, even if the defendant were to waive the conflict. It's understandable. Again, it's not y'all's decision. It's not up to you. It's up to YNW Melly. And it's up to Raven Liberty, really. And then they cite the U.S. versus Pisa? Pisonia. All right. And they said the court held that if the attorney suffers from an actual conflict so severe that it impedes effective assistance, counsel should be disqualified, notwithstanding the defendant's desire to waive. Let's be real. This is a super weak argument by the state, because, again, how is the defense going to know if the conflict is severe if they don't have the search warrant? If they don't know why they were looking into Raven Liberty? It could be because Maybe they were trying to get her location from Apple to see if she was jaywalking that day, or it could be because maybe she was involved in something more serious. They have no idea. We don't know how severe the conflict is, and we won't know until we know why there was a search warrant. Otherwise, Melly's probably going to say, hey, I'm just going to keep her. She's been here the whole time. What do I need to get rid of her for? If the activity for which the attorney is investigated is substantially related to the charges against the defendant, disqualification is necessary, notwithstanding the defendant's waiver. So basically they're saying, hey, judge, take our word for it. She needs to go. Hey, Melly, you should probably get rid of her. On Tuesday, January 7th, 2025, this honorable court entered a written order ordering the state to provide a copy of the search warrant to the defendant to determine his potential conflict over the state's objection. Over the defendant's objection, the honorable court ruled it would review the search warrant in camera for potential redactions. And we saw that live. If y'all missed the video, make sure you go watch it on the channel. I'll have it linked in the description too. During this January 7th, 2025 hearing, the honorable court spoke to the defendant about how it was his decision and that his decision alone to determine whether to keep Miss Liberty as his counsel despite his conflict. It is not the defendant's decision. It is not the defendant's decision, says the state. How? The United States Supreme Court has recognized that the Sixth Amendment right to counsel is circumscribed in certain situations. All right. And they're going to say Wheat versus U.S. What happened? Explaining the Sixth Amendment right to counsel is premised on the right that a defendant is entitled to receive a fair trial through the adversarial process. And the relationship between counsel and the defendant must give way to that right. And Brian Steele, I think, talked about this too when he was going to be held in contempt by Judge Glanville, saying, hey, judge, like, you're taking away this man's right to counsel. He wants me to be his lawyer. And you're saying, sorry, thug, I'm putting your lawyer in jail. He can't represent you. And that's wrong. And the Georgia Supreme Court agreed with Brian Steele in that case, which is why one of the reasons that he didn't have to go to jail. It is not the defendant's decision. Read that already. The United States Supreme Court also explicitly rejects the argument that a waiver of the conflict cures a violation of the Sixth Amendment. To the contrary, courts have a legitimate interest in ensuring the criminal trial is conducted within the ethical standards of the profession. Wheat says at 161. Therefore, the rules of professional conduct, including those rules of the State Bar Association, which govern an attorney's conduct, are of paramount importance and should assist in informing the judiciary about how to proceed. An issue here is the alleged criminal conduct involving Raven Liberty. We don't know what that is. One of Demon's 4 attorneys clearly, after reviewing the search warrant in camera, there can be no doubt that an actual conflict is present squarely involving the personal self-interest of Miss Liberty. Moreover, this alleged conduct, if true, involves multiple violations of rules regulating the Florida bar. See the Florida bar versus Rod. And they say listing numerous rules involving dishonesty and criminal conduct as examples of unethical conduct prohibited by the Florida bar. The 4th District Court of Appeals has also recognized the superior authority and insight inherent in the trial court's purview, to reject a waiver of conflict. Okay, and they cite more case law there. And then the court's authority to reject the defendant's waiver of attorney conflict based on the counsel's prior representation of the state's witness. In fact, the 4th noted in a footnote that if the lawyer's conflict encompassed counsel's self-interest, a waiver is precluded as a matter of law. So basically, the state is really trying to get Raven Liberty off of this case. It makes you wonder why in this instance, but it seems like they're putting a lot of effort into saying she needs, not only are we going to move forward with this investigation, but she needs to be removed as his counsel, which is a wild thing to say. We'll have to see how Judge Feem rules on this because it seems like their case is kind of weak. And then they cite the United States versus Fulton, not Fulton County, where the conflict involved allegations of criminal conduct by the defendant's lawyer, regardless of whether the lawyer is ultimately found innocent. In Fulton, the court stated, second, even if the attorney is demonstrably innocent and the government witnesses' allegations are plainly false, the defense is impaired because vital cross-examination becomes unavailable to the defendant. So you're telling me they can bring up false allegations and get someone's lawyer removed? I usually don't go back and look at case law, but I would have to see what happened in this case because that's kind of crazy. Ordinarily, a witness's blatantly false allegations provide a rich source of cross-examination designed to cast doubt on the witness's credibility. But when the allegations are against the defendant's attorney, the source cannot be tapped. Interesting. The trial court is obligated to protect the truth-seeking function of the proceedings by considering the defendant has effective counsel, even where the defendant wishes to waive conflict. But what if they want to represent themselves? And how would that work? I guess the law is weird. Anyway, wherefore, the state hereby submits this memorandum of law to consider regarding the attorney conflict. So what do y'all think the judge is going to stay on this one? Judge Fiend seems like he's no nonsense. Obviously, he's reviewing the warrant right now. He had a couple of cases that were starting this week. So I'll be interested to see what y'all think about his decision on this, because in my opinion, it's a weak case from the state. And at the end of the day, like the judge already stated, it is up to Melly to decide if he wants to keep his counsel or not. Let me know what y'all think in the comments and in the chat. Shout out to everybody in here. Hollywood Cozy here said that ring gets sharp. I'm trying, man. Listen, we're getting better every day. It's 2025. We got to level up. Minnie Perkins is in the building. Peter Steele. I already said what's up to Peter, but hello to you again and good morning. And Tanya is in here as well. So the state can't win the case. She looks like she helps him understand what's going on in court. They talk a lot. They really do. Also, shout out to Alejandra with the 2 bomb says, I love your show. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for being here, Alejandra, because there wouldn't be a show without your support. So thank y'all for the love. I appreciate it. We're going to get into our next topic here. And thank you to everybody that's liked the video so far, too. We're going to keep it moving right along with this next one, which is going to be, are we going Drake first? I think we're going to go Drake next. Drake? Talk about Drake? Shout out to Soldier Boy. So I went back and looked up the video I did on this in the past, and it's actually a long video. It was about a 45-minute video that I did talking about Drake and what was going on with his lawsuit with UMG. So basically, to give you a little bit of a background, there was a back and forth between Kendrick Lamar and Drake last May. They went back and forth. There were allegations against Kendrick Lamar by Drake saying that he was using bots to boost his streams during this beef. He wasn't playing fair. Anyway, and there are a lot of issues there. Kendrick Lamar ended up having the biggest rap song of 2024 and has gotten several opportunities out of that. He's going to be performing at the Super Bowl. He's going on tour soon with SZA. So a lot of great opportunities came out of that. But Drake obviously had issues with the way Kendrick Lamar was playing the game. Now, shout out to Drake. Definitely a fan of Drake's music. But I will say this, when I heard this lawsuit come out, I wasn't feeling it at all. Because when it comes to the music industry and the things that Drake was alleging in this lawsuit, which we're going to get into in a second, this is just a part of the game. Using bots, using certain means to boost your credibility or to make things look a certain way is a major part of the music industry and how it works. A lot of people have access to using it. They just aren't able to use it and able to perform at the level that someone like a Drake or Kendrick performs at. Anyway, Drake files a lawsuit. We're going to get into the lawsuit here in a second. I'm not going to review the whole thing. I just want to read some of the highlights. And then recently, when it comes to that lawsuit with Drake, he actually withdrew his petition. Now, when I say lawsuit, this was actually, we'll call it a petition, because Drake really didn't file the lawsuit right away. What he did is he had a petition and he told the court, he said, hey, we're about to go to war with UMG and Spotify, who were both named in this petition and who would eventually be named in the lawsuit. We're going to go against them. And I need you guys to make sure that we're going to be able to get all of the pre-discovery that we need. So we're going to need to see how this all was financed, how they promoted the songs, what they did. And Spotify and UMG were like, oh, no, we cannot have that happen. So Drake withdraws his New York legal petition against UMG. What happened? What happened? He said he's got a case against UMG and Spotify. In the case in New York, the withdrawal says that they met today and have come to an agreement, which is crazy. I did not see this happening, y'all. And we're actually going to get into the full document here. Let me go ahead and pull up the initial lawsuit first and give you guys a little bit more of the background of what Drake was accusing UMG and Spotify of doing. So this is the initial lawsuit. I'm going to move it over here and center this so y'all can actually see what was going on. So initially, what was Drake saying about UMG? He said, Respondent UMG is one of handful of companies that dominate the multi-billion-dollar music industry. When it comes to the release of new music by its most prominent artists, UMG is meticulous in its planning and execution of the music it releases, promotes, and backs with its considerable financial resources. I just mentioned music industry. They do what they got to do to promote the music. That is true, not just because of the amount of money on the line for UMG and its shareholders, but also UMG's executives are eligible to receive incentives and bonuses based on the revenue generated by their respective divisions. Earlier this year, one of the artists that UMG has under contract presented UMG with the new song called Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. Before it approved the release of the song, UMG knew the song itself, as well as its accompanying album art and music video, attacked the character of another one of UMG's more prominent artists, Drake, obviously, by falsely accusing him of being a PDF, as the kids say now, which was wild. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. Accused him of being a PDF, engaging in PDF acts, and harboring PDFs and committing other criminal acts. Oh gosh. Specifically, the song calls Drake a certified PDF, a predator, and someone whose name should be registered and placed on a neighborhood watch. Yes, Kendrick Lamar did really say that. Pursuant to its rights under various contracts, UMG has exclusive control over the licensing of Not Like Us and could have refused to release or to distribute the song or required the offending material to be edited or removed, which a lot of people said, oh, this is Drake crying. Drake, you can't say that. It was a beef. You got to let it go. Let it fly. Well, UMG, it seems like they agree with Drake in this case, and we're going to get to why here in a second. But UMG chose to do the opposite. UMG designed, financed, and then executed a plan to turn Not Like Us into a viral mega hit with the intent of using the spectacle of harm to Drake and his business to drive consumer hysteria and, of course, massive revenues. And it worked. The plan succeeded, likely beyond UMG's wildest expectations. UMG released the song Not Like Us on May 4, 2024, and its music video on July 4, 2024. UMG relied on its exclusive licensing rights and, in coordination with known and unknown third parties, utilized every tool in its arsenal to spread Not Like Us. Not Like Us went crazy. Then even DJ Academics had someone on his stream that was exposing how UMG and Spotify were able to promote this song and make it go viral. Showed how bots work, showed them actually using bots to boost an Instagram profile and other things. If you haven't seen that, make sure you go check it out. And I actually interviewed someone on this channel that worked in the music industry and is very familiar with bots and how they work. His name is Chad Focus. If y'all haven't watched that interview, I did. It's absolutely amazing. And shout out to Chad Focus for that, because he really gives you an in-depth look into how music industry and record labels use bots to push artist music forward. So anyway, Drake was upset about that mainly because of what Kendrick Lamar was insinuating. Well, not even insinuating, what Kendrick Lamar was stating in this song and how it hurt Drake's career. So he went back and forth with UMG, and apparently they came to some type of deal because what happened? So we've got this notice of withdrawal of order to show cause and discontinuance. So we've got, in the matter of application of Frozen Moments LLC, that's Drake's company, petitioner for an order pursuant to section 3102 of the Civil Practice Law and Rules to compel pre-action disclosure from UMG Records and Spotify. Again, Drake wanted some information and UMG's like, hey, we could come to some type of deal. You don't have to go digging and looking for things that don't need to come to the light. To the court, plaintiff and its attorneys of record, please take notice that petitioner and move it Frozen Moments LLC by its attorneys, Wilkie Farr and Galgaither, probably LLP, hereby withdraws this order to show cause seeking pre-action disclosure and preservation of certain documents and communications from respondent UMG Records, Inc., and pre-action disclosure of certain documents and communications from respondent Spotify USA Incorporated, with exhibits originally filed in New York Supreme Court on November 25th, 2024. Please take further notice that the petitioner hereby voluntarily discontinues this special proceeding as to all respondents without cost to any party. Hey, listen. Shout out to Drake. This is a major win for Drake. Y'all know this man got paid. Drake got the bag. Because for him to drop this and to actually take a win from this, it would have had to have taken a lot for UMG to do this, because again, they didn't want him exposing certain things and practices that UMG and Spotify use to promote music. They didn't want them exposing UMG and Spotify's relationship. As they say, certain documents and communications would not have been good. Please take further notice that petitioner hereby voluntarily discontinues this special proceeding as to all respondents without cost to any party. Plaintiffs met and conferred with respondents on January 14, 2025 regarding this filing. Respondent Spotify, which has filed in opposition to the order to show cause, responded that Spotify has no objection to the withdrawal and discontinuance. Respondent UMG, which has not yet filed in opposition to the order to show cause, has reserved its position. Now, the interesting thing about this is the music community, right? Because the music community was looking at this as like, Drake is weak. I can't believe Drake did this. He's complaining just because he lost. He did take a loss. I'll definitely agree with that. But it's interesting that UMG is just like, hey, let's just settle this. Drake, what do you want? Because in that instance, it could lead people to believe that maybe there was something going on here that UMG doesn't want us to find out. Maybe it's specifically about Kendrick Lamar and Not Like Us. It could be, and is most likely, in my opinion, about the record labels and Spotify and how they run business as a whole. So y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Very interesting. Congratulations to Drake taking home the win, even out of all of this. Not bad at all. Let me know what y'all think. Yeah, UMG. And again, that's another thing too. UMG, they have invested so much into Drake. Y'all know he hundreds of millions of dollars they've invested into Drake. Drake is the UMG artist for them. Obviously, they've got Taylor Swift in there too, but Drake is absolutely killing it, and they've invested a ton of money in him. So there was no way, and I said this before, there was no way Drake was going to lose this. I didn't know how they were going to go about it, but they're not just going to take their investment in Drake and say, we'll just take the hundreds of millions of dollars and let it go. So I had a feeling something like this was going to happen. Good morning to everybody who's just stopping by as well. My guy Les Cleaver dropped a 2 bomb. Appreciate you for the super sticker, Les. Thank you, my guy. And shout out to the new subscribers too. We've got Shoni12 in here as a new subscriber. Thank you for stopping by. Who else is in here? We've got, did I miss anybody? We've got Drea in here. Good morning, Drea. And Hollywood Co said he just turned it to a full lawsuit. It's in the news. Y'all are playing. There's no way. Okay, well, we might have to look into that then, if that's true. Oh man, either way, this is a huge win for Drake. And for whatever reason they decided to end this, is going to be interesting to see. Yeah, shout out to Hollywood Co for letting me know. He said, dang, he just pulled the petition to file an actual lawsuit now. Who is the lawsuit against though? Oh man, I don't want to detour because we still got a lot of things we've got to get to, but that is interesting to say the least. Let me go ahead and get our next subject up here. And then I'll see if I could find what Hollywood Co is talking about. Where's Diddy at? So I'm seeing DJ Academics probably said something about it. He said Drake officially files lawsuit in federal court against UMG detailing defamation, also attacks citing fears of safety after UMG authorized his house being a single cover for Not Like Us. Oh no. Somebody said safe to say no new Drake music for a while. Well, here's why that doesn't surprise me, Hollywood Co. Because what did they say at the end of this? Respondent Spotify, which has filed opposition to orders to show cause, responded that they have no objection to the withdrawal and discontinuance. But respondent UMG, what did they say? They reserved their position. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. I mean, Drake's gonna this is gonna be fun to watch for sure. I'll just leave it at that. All right, we've got over 300 of y'all in the building. Thank you to everybody who's in here. We've got one more quick topic I want to cover, and then we'll get into everything with Naziah Harris in a second. All right, thank y'all for liking the video as well. Let's check out this next story. This story is insane, y'all. And let me see. I got my timer started. So a lot of you may or may not know how I feel about what's going on with this whole Diddy and Cassie situation specifically. I think there's so much more there that we're not being told. And we saw the video release of what Diddy did in the hotel. Absolutely wrong, right? But there's more to that than meets the eye when it comes to what their relationship was like. Well, most recently, in the last couple of 24 hours, we'll say, it came out that Diddy's attorneys reviewed some of the videos that Cassie had from the freak offs. And Diddy's attorneys had something very interesting to say about what went on in those videos. No, I hate to disappoint some of y'all, but we don't have the videos here today. And even when we do, we won't be showing them on this platform, obviously. But what is Diddy's attorneys alleged happened in this videos? Now, keep in mind, Diddy is not in possession of these videos from the freak offs. These 9 videos we're going to talk about here in a second, they were in Cassie's possession. All right. It was mentioned in the lawsuit that some of the freak offs that went on, they were recorded on Cassie's devices. It's a cell phone or a video recording, and they talk about it here. Shout out to the college kid, says Diddy's attorneys reviewed 9 freak off tapes. Oh my God. Featuring Cassie, and say she appeared to be enjoying herself. Oh God. They're not going to like this one. She not only consented, says their lawyers, but thoroughly enjoyed herself and is evidently happy, dominant, and completely in control. We're gonna get into it here. Let's not take my word for it or paraphrase. Let's see exactly what they said. All right, to the honorable judge, excuse me, the honorable judge Subramanian. I think I said that right. Shout out to you, Judge. Shout out to the Honorable Judge S. We write on behalf of our client, Sean Combs, to request a modification of the terms of the protective order 26 to require the government to electronically provide videos described in paragraph 12A and 12C of the indictment. The protective order includes a novel provision making this video evidence available for inspection only and not electronically produced. Okay. Also in that order, having reviewed these videos, it is now abundantly clear that they confirm Mr. Combs' innocence. Wow. Y'all let me know in the comments. You know what? I was going to ask if y'all want to see the videos, but I take that back. Don't answer that question. Jesus. Having reviewed these videos, it is now abundantly clear that they confirm Mr. Combs' innocence and that their full exculpatory value cannot be investigated and used unless they are electronically produced. Rule 16A 1E expressively requires production of the copies of such material to the defense, and there is no plausible good cause to restrict access to them under Rule 16D1. Accordingly, they should be produced in the normal course so that the defense may evaluate and use them in the same manner as the other Rule 16 and Brady material. Listen, y'all, what I hear in this is that they want these videos to be leaked. I know the defense there's no way in the world that they would say that, but they get a hold of these things are getting leaked. I promise you oh man. So they don't want to just sit there and look at it on the screen and say, oh, can you rewind a second? They want to have it in their possession to be able to review it at their own leisure, right? Man, Cassie's lawyers better hope that these things don't get leaked, or they don't get access to these, because it's going to be bad. Either way, 9 videos at issue are the so-called freak off tapes with victim 1 that the government has repeatedly referenced, causing wild speculation in the media, namely Cassie. Contrary to what the government has led this court and the public to believe, the so-called freak offs were private adult activities between fully consenting adults in a long-term relationship. I've always agreed with that, and it makes sense, especially after 10 years, but we won't get into that. Like many Americans in the privacy of their own bedrooms, they sometimes film their adult activity. These videos unambiguously show that the person alleged in the indictment to be Cassie not only consented, but thoroughly enjoyed herself. They redacted some of the details, I guess. Oh, God. These recordings corroborate what witnesses have told the government, namely that Cassie... Y'all let me know in the comments in the chat, what does these redacted sections say? That Cassie what? Yikes. The recordings also directly refute the allegations that Mr. Combs kept the videos as collateral. These recordings were not on Mr. Combs' devices and were not seized from his homes. Rather, Cassie kept these videos on her own devices for years, decades even, and produced them to the government herself. Boy, if y'all find out that your significant other has some freak off videos that they've been holding on to, how are you gonna feel about that? Anyway, moreover, contrary to the innumerable sensationalistic media reports, the videos do not depict adult activity parties. There are no secret cameras, no orgies, no other celebrities involved, no underground tunnels, no minors, and not so much as a hint of coercion or violence. Far from the government's lurid descriptions, the video shows adults having consensual adult activity, plain and simple. At the bottom, this case is about whether Cassie was or was not a willing participant in her private life with Diddy. The videos confirm that she plainly was. Here's the background. Soon after Mr. Combs was charged, the parties began negotiating the terms of the protective order. During those negotiations, the government insisted over defense objection that certain videos obtained from Cassie and depicting alleged freak-offs would not be electronically produced and would instead only be made available for in-person viewing while monitored by law enforcement. These things are getting leaked. Y'all, some of y'all get ready. The government explained that Cassie, whose attorney gave these videos to the government, requested that they not be produced or are produced to protect her privacy, and that the government would honor that request. To ensure we would receive discovery without further delay, the defense agreed to receive the discovery under those conditions, while reversing the right in the proposed order to later seek modifications of designations from the court. And that happened on October 7th. The court so ordered the proposed protective order. After spending 4 weeks attempting to schedule a viewing of the evidence, the defense was finally able to watch the video under the supervision of law enforcement on November 20th, 2024 and December 13th, 2024. The evidence consists of 9 videos depicting 6 unambiguously consensual adult encounters where Cassie was... In all 6 of these encounters, Cassie is not only consenting, she is evidently happy, dominant, and completely in control. Cassie was on the couch. Cassie was on the bed. She was doing backflips in the tub. Yikes. What does this say, y'all? I want y'all to guess in the comments. There's no evidence of any violence, coercion, threats, or manipulation whatsoever. Is anyone shocked? I'm definitely not. There's no evidence that anyone is incapacitated or under the influence of drugs or excessive alcohol consumption. There's certainly no evidence of trafficking. Not surprised about that either. All right. And then they go on here to talk about the law and what the court's authority is and so on and so forth. I want y'all to let me know in the comments and in the chat, what in the world went on in these videos? Do you think they have enough to be able to get these videos electronically available? Because I guarantee you, and I would put everything I own on the fact that if the judge does allow them to get these electronically, they're going to be leaked. Let me know what y'all think in the comments and in the chat. Wow. This is wild, man. Both can be true. Doesn't mean it wasn't abuse at times. The crazy thing about that statement, Mo, is that Cassie gets to decide when and when it's not abuse. So that's why I don't like that both ways in this situation. It needs to be black or white. Because again, just when it comes to removing consent, she can, the way the law is set up, she can go and look at those videos and be like, oh yeah, that time right there, I know I was screaming and I had my legs up in the air, but yeah, I don't consent anymore. That's the law. And it's just lame. It's a terrible rule. And being able to switch on and off when abuse is with 2 consenting adults, I don't want to play that game. Either way, it should be black or white. I 1000% agree. And thank y'all again to everybody who liked the video. It's nowhere near that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brief intermission, and then we're going to go ahead and get right into this testimony about this Naziah Harris case. So I'm going to pause this real quick. Y'all give me 1 second and we'll be right back. Yeah, exactly. Right Street said it. I stopped consenting at 1 hour, 23 minutes and 56 seconds into the tape. That's how the law works, y'all. It's unfortunate. And as a man, y'all should definitely be careful. I'll be right back.
I can do what I want when I want to do it. I can do what I need when I need to get through it. When I need someone else, can't be too proud for help, but gotta look after myself. Sometimes it can get lonely, never living in the moment. When the sun is shining, hope that I'm reminded, like how the clouds keep changing. I'm always steady rearranging, going back to the basics of what a good day is. What a good day is. And that's exactly what the day is. But it's exactly what you make it. So please don't go wasting. And I'll do the same, even if it's raining. How could I complain? And my feels got me feeling some type of way. You always free to take a break. Hope you feel what I felt. You gotta look after yourself. Sometimes it can get lonely, never living in the moment. When the sun is shining, hope that I'm reminded, like how the clouds keep changing. I'm always steady rearranging, going back to the basics of what a good day is. Of what a good day is. What a good day is. And that's exactly what the day is.
All right, we are back at it. Here we go. So let's go ahead and get into this first round of testimony. I need to find. There we go. So this first testimony that we're going to hear is going to be from Talisa Moore. Now, she's not actually related to Naziah Harris, but she's going to tell a little bit of her story, what actually happened, how she got involved in this whole entire trial. And man, y'all just, again, I just want to say, if when it comes to crimes against children specifically, if that's something that is very triggering for you, just be aware some of this is going to be hard to hear today. All right, y'all ready? Make sure you like the video if you haven't yet. It really does help us out, and I appreciate y'all. Here we go.
Raise your right hand.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Watch your step.
Speaking to the mic here. Pick it up and hold it in your lap if you like.
Okay.
Thank you. Could you state your name for the record?
Talisa Moore.
And, excuse me, Ms. Moore, I'm going to ask you a couple questions, but first I want to ask you, do you know someone by the name of Cordell Wright?
I do.
And how do you know Mr. Wright?
He is the father of my nephew, my 17-year-old nephew.
So, your sister's son?
Yes.
Gotcha. And is that how you met Mr. Wright?
Yeah.
Through your sister?
Yes.
Okay. And in
Sad.
what context is your relationship with Mr. Wright? How did you know him? Did he ever do anything for you? Things like that?
He fixed my mother's car,
They was all getting their car fixed by him.
And what
It's
kind
crazy.
of car did your mother drive?
a red Jaguar,
And what's your mom's name?
Jacqueline Campbell.
And going back to January of 2024, where were you living at the time? Not your specific address, just the city.
Ypsilanti.
And who else lived with you in Ypsilanti?
My mom and my son.
Okay. And would Mr. Wright ever come out to Ypsilanti to fix your mom's car, her Jaguar?
Yes.
How often did he do that?
Like a couple times, at least 2 times. 2
And-
times.
And was that around January of 2024?
That was the last time.
In January was the
Yes.
last time? And when he would go out there, would he bring anyone with him?
This last time he did it.
What about
Or
prior?
the last 2 times. So before January 9th
Yeah, he was a family
And then,
mechanic for sure.
Someone else came, and then on January 9th, they both came.
Hmm.
And the person that he brought with him, do you see that person in the courtroom today?
Yes.
And could you point to him and identify a piece of clothing he's wearing?
Well, I can only see the top of his head right now.
Are you 100% sure that it's that person?
Pull your mask down.
Could we have everyone remove their masks, Judge? Just
Yeah, there you go.
If everyone in the courtroom could remove their mask if they have one on, please.
Ms. Moore, do you see the person that Mr. Wright brought with him?
I do.
And could you point to him and identify a piece of clothing he's wearing?
A green one-piece thing.
For the record, the witness has identified Jarvis Butts, the defendant in this matter.
So reflected.
Thank you. And you said Mr. Butts came out how many
Yeah,
times
sad.
with Cordell?
At least two. So this last time in January and the time before that.
Okay, and the time before that, who was anyone else with the two of them?
No.
And what were they doing the time before January 9th?
Working on the car. I can't remember. It was a couple of things they had to fix on it. And they came out and did it in the driveway. And
Sorry.
no. I was just gonna say the last time when we got the car towed to the shop and they drove it back up.
Okay. And so in between the
Yeah.
most recent time before January 9th, the Jaguar, correct me if I'm wrong, was towed to Detroit?
Correct.
Okay. And then on January 9th, did you see that red Jaguar again?
Yeah.
Okay. Who brought that Jaguar out to Ypsilanti?
Cordell and Jarvis.
Okay. And was anyone else with Cordell and Jarvis?
Yes.
Who is that person?
Naziah.
And I want to clarify, at the time on the 9th,
Sad, man.
when Cordell, Jarvis, and Naziah came, did you know that that was Naziah Harris?
No,
Do you know that now?
I do know now.
Okay. And is that based on information you learned or seen in the news and things like that?
Well, it was based on when the detectives came to the house to question us. That's when I found out
Okay.
who she was.
But at the
Okay.
time on the 9th, you didn't know?
Mm-mm.
Is that a no?
No, yes or no, I did not know.
Now, let's talk about when they came out on the 9th, January 2024. What was that interaction? How long did it last? Can you kind of take me through, start to finish, their visit and delivering the car?
So they came, they delivered the car. They were talking to my mom about what was wrong, gave her the invoice. It was just like a regular day when they came in, they sat on the couch for a few minutes. Naziah was sitting in the chair by the TV. We spoke, very brief. Asked her if she wanted something to drink. She didn't. My 6-year-old son ran up to her, the dog. It was just.
It's sad, man.
They sat there,
Everyone
talked about
knew.
the car and stuff. We talked about my
I
nephew.
told y'all.
Cordell was trying to wait till my nephew got out of school, but because he was on tether, they had to leave, so they didn't get to stay long enough for my nephew to come.
And your nephew would be Cordell's son?
Cordell's son, yeah,
Okay.
correct.
Did you talk to Mr. Butts about Naziah? Did he introduce her or anything like that?
We just asked, hey, everybody spoke. He said this is his niece, and that was pretty much the basis of it. I cannot remember if he said her name or not, but he did introduce her as his niece.
And so, just to be clear, not sure about the name, but he said this is his niece about Naziah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
That's a yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. And then after that conversation, well, let me ask you, during that time when they were there, did you notice
That's fair,
anything
Demetrius.
that was unsettling or concerning about Naziah?
No.
It was just a normal interaction?
Yes.
After that interaction was over, did the three of them, Cordell, Jarvis, and Naziah, leave your house?
Yes.
Okay. And as far as you know, they were headed back to Detroit, correct?
Correct.
When they left, whose car were they leaving in?
Cordell's truck.
And all three of them were in the same car?
Yes.
And you said that they were delivering the Jaguar to your mom or to your house, right?
Yes.
Did you see them pull up? Do you know what the driving and seating arrangements was?
I do not.
I have nothing further to say.
Okay, Ross?
All right, now it's the defense's
Good
turn.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, you're technically not
Yeah.
related to Cordell, right?
Correct.
That's just the uncle of, I'm sorry, he is the
The
father
father.
of your nephew. Okay? How would you say your relationship is with Mr. Wright?
It's cool. Like, no issues.
You got along with him well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And you know Cordell worked as a mechanic?
Correct.
Okay. And how long has he worked on your vehicles? Was this something new, or had he worked on your vehicles previously?
Y'all said Shaq. Shout out to Shaq.
I think he might have changed the oil on one of my cars a couple years back, but not that frequently.
Okay. And you knew he had did you know he had a shop that he worked out of?
Yes.
Okay. Had you been to the shop?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that there was a time prior to January 9th that he came up and worked on the car, correct?
Correct.
And you said that my client was with him that time.
Correct.
Do you recall when that was?
It had to be in the summer. I cannot recall the exact date.
But it was the summer of 2023?
Yes.
Okay. And that was the first time you had seen Jarvis Butts?
Yes.
Did you say anything to him that day?
Yes.
The
We
first
talked.
time?
Yes. We talked about me being a member of Zeta and that he had a cousin or somebody that was a Zeta. We all went to O'Reilly's to get some parts or something for the car.
Okay.
We stopped and got something to eat.
Shout out
And
to
back.
O'Reilly's.
But it was very mellow, like.
So that summer of 2023, you had a fairly decent conversation with them, correct?
Correct.
And it lasted for a period of time, correct?
Correct.
So on January 9th, when you saw him, you knew who he was.
Correct.
You had recognized him because you had spent time with him, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Mm.
So you had the car, and you knew that he was partnered with Cordell at the shop, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So on January 9th, approximately when did you have the car towed down to his shop?
I think we had it towed
That's what I'm saying,
maybe
man.
like the 4th or the 5th.
So it was there from the 4th, okay? And it was the 9th that they brought it back?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know approximately what time the car was brought back?
How did they not?
Had to be before
Man.
3:30 p.m.
There was 3.
Well, no. It had to be before 5:30 because my sister got off work at 5:30. So mid-afternoon.
Okay. But you're not sure the exact time?
I'm not sure the exact time.
Was it light or dark outside?
It was still light out.
Okay. And they came up, they pulled the Jaguar in first, the driveway,
Correct.
right? And then Cordell's car was behind us.
I believe so.
Okay. When they pulled up, did you see them exit the vehicles?
No,
Okay. So you don't know who was driving what?
I don't.
Okay. So
They just said, huh?
at that
Oh,
point,
well.
they came into the house, correct?
Correct.
And did they all walk in together? Or
Yes.
Okay, so Cordell came in, followed by Jarvis, correct?
I can't tell you the exact. I don't know if Naziah walked in first or Jarvis walked in first.
Okay. And this young lady. And to be fair, you didn't know who she was, correct?
Not at all.
Do you recall what she was wearing when she came?
I think she had on a jacket.
Why were y'all letting them hang out with? That's fine.
But I can't really
Don't recall?
know.
Okay. Do you recall what any of them had on that day?
Not really.
Okay. So, do you recall, without going into your house, was it dark, light in your house? Were the lights on?
The lights were on.
Okay. And you have a fairly large living room?
Yeah.
Okay. So when they came in, you said that Nazir sat next to the television.
So yeah, like if when you're coming in, there's like a red cabinet type thing. The TV sits on top of it, and then there's a chair right, like a,
Why was she
I
there?
don't know, a chair sitting right next to it, and that's where she was sitting.
Okay. And when she came in, did she introduce herself?
She did not.
Okay. So she came in, sat down, right?
We offered her to see, like, came in, Cordell said hello. He was doing most of the talking. Jarvis said hello. Said, this is my niece. Then was like, y'all have a seat.
Okay.
Cordell
What was she
sat on
doing there?
The couch. There's a couch this way, and then a long couch this way.
But I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I was just gonna say, I believe that they were both on this couch. Nazir was in the chair, and me and my mom were on the longer couch.
So your mom was there,
Yeah.
correct? All right. And you all were conversing, correct?
Correct.
And it's fair to say that you weren't conversing with Nazir, correct?
No.
You were conversing with Jarvis. I'm sorry, you were conversing with Cordell.
Cordell and Jarvis about the car and the invoice that they brought.
All right. And you said at some point your son came up and was talking with Nazir?
Correct.
Okay. And how long did this conversation last?
Like
That's what
all
I'm
our
saying.
conversation?
Right.
And the comments, y'all are on it. You didn't find it odd that she was with two grown men? They just don't care. Blatant, willful ignorance, neglect, whatever you want to call it. And she's just saying so nonchalantly, like, yeah, she was sitting there watching the TV. She talked to my son. He said, this is my niece. I was like, okay, cool. Is the alternator good on my Jaguar, or what are we doing?
How long were they there?
Happens all the time, y'all. All the time.
Between like 30
God help
45
us.
minutes.
Okay.
Maybe an hour.
And while they were there, you didn't notice anything, and I think you already mentioned this, you didn't notice anything out of the ordinary, correct?
Correct.
Did you see Jarvis Butts conversing with Nazir Harris?
No.
So they didn't have any conversation?
No.
Okay. And you didn't notice anything awkward or out of the ordinary between the two?
Correct. I didn't
Okay.
notice anything.
So after about an hour,
Which means nothing.
Correct.
was it light or dark? At
It
that
was
point?
still fairly light.
All right. And they got into Cordell's car, correct?
Correct.
You don't remember the seating, I think you've already
No, I
said
do
that.
not.
But was Cordell driving?
Correct.
Okay. So that day you didn't think anything out of the ordinary happened, correct?
Correct.
And at some point you were contacted, correct?
Correct.
When were you contacted?
Well, we were contacted by Cordell the next day because when we paid the invoice, it was $70 short. So we had to get Jarvis's cash app to send the rest of the money. So that was the last part of the conversation. And then the detectives came, I want to say the end of March,
So the end of March. So
I believe. I don't know the exact day, but it was at least a month or two later.
and it was when the detectives came, is when you found out that the person that was in your house was Nazir Harris, correct?
Correct.
All right. And did they tell you that this person was Nazir Harris?
They asked me if I knew who she was, and they asked me if I knew who Cordell was. They showed me a picture of Mr. Butts. They asked me if I knew who all these people were. And They asked me if I knew her name, and I did not know her name at that time.
Okay. And they told
Yeah, and I see y'all. I hate to stop this because I just see y'all in the chat, but I mean, they knew what he had done in the past. He should not have been alone with a kid, period. It's not that complicated.
her name.
I agree, Zahir.
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay. And
But
at
they wanted to
any
get their
point-
they wanted to get their cars fixed so bad at a discount. They're like, she's just hanging out watching TV. It's all good. Golly, man.
Did you look up?
I don't play when it comes to
why
kids.
they
I'm
were
sorry.
there or look
You don't
up
get the
any
benefit of
information
doubt
about
with
this
me.
case
Yeah, after they left.
After they left.
Mm.
Okay, and what did you look up?
Objection, relevance.
I just want to see where her information came from.
As long as the results of what she looked up.
I want to see the information that she had that go into her testimony.
Go ahead.
There's obviously there's podcasts out that are a bit unfavorable.
It's not obvious.
Well-
I don't know.
Okay, you don't know.
Just keep going. She said, okay, it's fine. Keep going, man. Dang.
What did you look up?
I looked up Mr. Butt's oldest record,
Okay.
but I tried to type in his name, I typed in Cordell's name, tried to see if anything came up. At that time, there wasn't anything.
Hold on. So she didn't see anything strange and she just randomly looked up his record. I gotta run this back. Hold on a second, y'all. What?
So we had to get Jarvis's Cash App to send the rest of the money. So that was the last part of the conversation. And then the detectives came, I want to say the end of March,
So the end of March. So
I believe. I don't know the exact day, but it was at least a month or two later.
and it was when the detectives came, is when you found out that the person that was in your house was Nazai Harris, correct?
Correct.
All right. And did they tell you that this person was Nazai Harris?
They asked me if I knew who she was, and they asked me if I knew who Cordell was. They showed me a picture of Mr. Butts. They asked me if I knew who all these people were, and they asked me if I knew her name, and I did not know her name at that time.
Okay. And they told you her name.
Honestly,
Wow.
I don't know.
Okay. And at any point, did you look up why they were there or look up any information about this case
Yeah, after they left.
after they left?
Mm.
Okay, and what did you look up?
Objection, relevance.
I just want to see where her information came from.
So she looked it up after the detectives left.
As long as the results of what she looked up.
I want to see the information that she had that go into her testimony.
It doesn't matter.
Go ahead.
She looked it up. So she looked it up after
Podcast out that
she
are
found out what happened.
a bit unfavorable.
It's not obvious.
Well-
I don't know.
Okay, you don't know. Okay. What did you look up?
I looked up Mr. Butt's oldest record,
Okay.
but I tried to type in his name, I typed in Cordell's name, tried to see if anything came up. At that time, there wasn't anything posted, but I
How?
didn't find much, other than his record.
Okay.
I didn't find much other than his record. That's fine. We won't. It's not her fault.
Just one more.
Yeah, people do talk, and at least do your due diligence. Something.
No further questions.
Any redirect?
Yeah, very brief. Ms. Moore, Mr. Reagans was just asking you about information that you looked up and things like that. When the police were at your house, though, when the detectives were at your house, first, do you know if those were Detroit police officers?
Yes, Detroit police
Detectives, okay. And you said that they showed you a picture of, in court, you said.
Very sad, yeah.
Say it one more time.
They showed you a picture of Nasiah at that time, correct?
Correct.
Did you identify that picture when the police were there as Nasiah Harris? Did you say her name?
No, I said that's the mechanic's niece.
So just to be clear, you identified her as the girl that was at your house
Correct.
with the defendant, Jarvis Potts.
Correct.
Okay. And that was before you had looked up any information?
Correct, because I didn't know anything until the detectives came to the house.
And while Nasiah and Jarvis and Cordell were at your house, you said Nasiah was sitting next to the TV?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And did Nasiah, during that 30 minutes to an hour, ever get up and leave, use the restroom or anything like that?
No.
So crazy, man. Dang.
And you mentioned earlier that Cordell was on a tether and that's the reason he had to leave, right?
Correct.
Do you know what Cordell's tether hours were at that time? Like what time he had to be back home by?
I don't know.
Okay. How far of a drive is it from Detroit to Ypsilanti?
She knew he was on a tether. That's crazy.
Probably about 40 minutes.
And what was the reason that Cordell had to leave again?
Because he said he had to be back in the house for his tether.
Okay, so did it seem like he was in a little bit of a rush to get back, or he was cutting it close maybe with that drive, 40 minutes?
No, I think he had whatever he needed to do, and he just wanted to make sure he was in the city on time.
But is it fair to say that he would have left somewhat closer to his cutoff time? If that's the reason he left, or that he said?
Yeah,
I
object. I think that calls for speculation on her part.
I was going to say, I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you want to respond?
If she knows,
It's
I think
crazy.
it's a close call.
If you know the answer.
I don't. I don't know. I can't say.
I have another quick question.
Okay, you are done testifying.
Thank you.
Watch your step.
Oh boy. What do y'all think about this one? I mean, obviously there wasn't something right about this. She knew this man wasn't an upstanding citizen. And I highly doubt that was the first time she had looked something up. You're going to tell me this man's in your house. He's got an ankle monitor on with another dude and a kid. And you're not going to be like, I wonder why. She's saying she didn't look any of that up until after she found out Nasiah was missing.
Stop the cap.
I'm not buying it. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments and in the chat. We've got another testimony we're going to hear from Jarvis's ex. This one is by far been the toughest one for me to listen to. But shout out to Dr. EJ. Just gifted 5 memberships. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Dr. EJ. And shout out to everybody who got one. If you got a membership from Dr. EJ, please make sure that you say thank you. Major supporter, always showing love and putting in the good work out there. So thank you, Dr. EJ. Can y'all write Dr. EJ in the chat? And make sure you tell him thank you. Oh my gosh. Nancy says, thank you for your coverage and your daily X posting, reminding us to give thanks. Oh yeah, thank you for following me over on X. Shout out to everyone who's watching this on X too. I appreciate you, Nancy. Let's go ahead and skip forward through this video and we're going to get to Jarvis's ex. Yes, he was in a relationship. Here we go. Multiple relationships.
Raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I didn't. Okay. Watch your step.
Speaking to this mic, pick it up and hold it in your lap if you like.
Whenever you're ready, Ms. Ruthie.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon. Could you please state your name for the record?
Latricia Johnson,
And how old are you?
31.
And I don't want to know your exact address, but what street do you live on?
Outer Drive in Belfort.
And what kind of vehicle did you drive back in January of 2024?
A blue Nissan Sentra.
Okay. And do you recall being interviewed by Detroit police back on August 30th of 2024?
Yes.
Okay. And fair to say that was in relation to a Jarvis Butts?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know a Jarvis Butts?
Yes.
Okay. And how is it that you know Jarvis Butts?
He's my daughter's father.
Okay. And do you see Mr. Butts in the courtroom today?
Yes.
And can you point to him and tell me a color of the clothing that he's wearing?
He's right there and he's wearing green.
And Your Honor, would the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant?
So reflective.
Thank you. And you said that he's your daughter's father.
Yes.
How old is your daughter?
She just turned 2.
And when did you meet Jarvis Butts?
2019.
And how was it that you met him?
I had a flat tire and I went to his auto shop on Warren and Casual, a Neff.
Now, you said you have one daughter with Mr. Butts. Do you have any other children?
Yes.
Okay. What other children do you have?
I have a son.
Okay. And how old is he?
He's 7.
And that is not a child by Mr.
No.
Butts?
Lord have mercy.
No.
Why? Stop
Do you
having
recall,
kids, man.
This is back in February 15th, 2024. Do you remember that day?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened that day?
Police came to my home, asking me if I know Jarvis and have I seen Naziah
Okay.
before.
All right. And did you, did they do anything at your house when you were there?
They searched my house.
Did they ever search, on that day, did they search your vehicle?
No,
Okay.
they just looked in there. They didn't do it full. I don't know.
Wow.
If it was, what you call it, a search of them looking inside.
So sad.
Okay. Was there ever a time that you allowed Jarvis to use your vehicle?
Yes, one time.
Okay. And which
2 times, I should say.
2 times? Okay.
Ms.
And
Johnson, can you speak up just a little bit louder?
No, y'all are asking who this is. This is one of Jarvis's exes. Whatever's.
Thank you.
which vehicle was that?
The blue Nissan Sentra.
Okay. And I showed you a PowerPoint before of 197 photos of a Nissan Sentra. Do you recall seeing those photos?
Yes.
Ms.
And
Ripley, can you hold off one moment for the court reporter?
oh, sorry.
You're fine.
Yes. Do you recall me showing you the photos of a Nissan Sentra before?
Yes.
Okay. And in showing you those photos, did those fairly and accurately depict how your Nissan Sentra looked back on August 30th of 2024?
Yes.
Okay. Now, well, first I'll move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 11, the PowerPoint of the Nissan Sentra.
Any objection?
No objection.
It'll be admitted as People's Exhibit 11.
What would be the objection?
May I publish?
Yes, there's DNA. Absolutely. We'll get into the DNA later.
Now, when you let Jarvis Butts borrow your vehicle, did it look how it was photoed?
The back was messed up, but the front was good.
Okay.
It was fixed.
So back in January of 2024, your car still had the front end?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the only difference in how it looked
On
from?
the photo, yes.
Okay. So that's the only difference in how it looked from January of 2024?
Yes.
Okay. When is it that Mr. Butts borrowed your vehicle?
January 9th.
Is that the first time?
Yes.
Okay. And you said there was a second time?
Yes.
When was that?
I think it was either the next day or the day after that day. I don't remember.
Okay. The first time, let's talk about the first time. How did it come about that he borrowed your car?
He called and asked if he can use my car to do something with his son.
Okay. And
Yeah. Yeah,
when
right.
is it that or how did he get your car?
I didn't get home till about 9 o'clock, and he came to my house to pick
Okay.
my car up.
Is that 9 a.m. or 9 p.m.?
9 p.m.
9 p.m.? Okay. And you said he came to your house and picked it up?
Yes.
Okay. To your knowledge, did Mr. Butts say how long he was going to borrow your car for?
No,
Okay. Did you have a reason? A
He just
time
said,
where
"Let
you
me
set
hold
it
it."
back?
at least 2 hours.
Okay. When did Mr. Butts return with your car?
The next morning.
Was this normal, abnormal,
No, not normal.
not normal? Okay. And did Mr. Butts say what he was doing when he had your car?
No.
Okay. Did you notice anything different about or in your car after his use that first
All right,
time?
thank y'all.
No.
Okay. Did you notice anything
She didn't notice
in
anything.
the back seat that was different?
There was a pair of glasses that was left that my son was playing with at the time.
Okay. And
And Isaiah did wear glasses. They're gonna show him in a minute.
in People's Exhibit 11, photo 37.
Just a lot of people around this poor girl did not care.
Where at would
It's
your
clear.
son be sitting?
On the passenger side,
Okay, in the passenger.
on the back seat.
So, where is it?
Dang, that car's a
Kind of see
mess.
better in photo 41. He would sit behind the passenger seat.
Yes.
Okay. What? Describe the glasses that he was playing with.
I believe they were clear around the frame part. I don't know what the ends look like, but I do remember they were clear around the frames.
Okay. And I want to show you what's already been introduced as People's Exhibit 12.
Man.
Yes.
Is there anything in People's Exhibit 12 that you recognize?
The glasses.
Okay. How is it that you recognize those glasses?
They were clear just like that. The one my son was playing with.
Okay.
Let me see if I could find.
Now, you said your son was playing with them in the back seat. How did you get them from your son?
I told him to give them to me because I didn't know who glasses they were.
Okay. How
Clear
is it
like
that you
this,
ask-
probably?
you go to ask or come to ask Jarvis about these glasses?
Well, my son was playing with them when I was with Jarvis at his shop.
And I guess
The next day, I went up to the shop, and my son, like picking my son up from school, Jarvis was see his daughter, and my son was playing in the back with the glasses.
okay. From when Jarvis had borrowed your car and returned it to you picking up your son from school, had anybody else borrowed your car?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're at the shop
And what
you see
happened
his
to the
son's wearing
car?
The glasses. You take them from him.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. Now, tell me, what does Jarvis do?
He snatched them from me and said those were his sunglasses.
Okay.
She said, "Okay, cool."
Okay. And do you think anything of this at the time?
No, I just thought that was his sunglasses because he said he was taking his son somewhere in the car.
All right. Now, the second time that Jarvis asked
Just
you to use your
blind.
car, so that was either the day after or the next day.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about how that comes to happen.
Well, he comes to my house when he get off work. He comes by to get my car. Say he needs to use it again for his son. I said okay, and he said he wasn't going to be gone for that long like he was the time before. I said okay.
Stu was gone the whole night.
2 hours, 2 to 3 hours.
Okay. And are those the only 2 times that he ever used your car?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Were there times that he would be in your car with you, that you
Yes.
would take him places?
Yes.
Okay. Have you had any contact with Jarvis since he turned himself in on February 7th of 2024?
Yes.
Okay. And what was that through?
She was still talking to him too.
Get out, text, app.
Okay.
Ms.
And
Johnson, you need to pull that microphone off the ledge. Yeah, that way I can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wow.
do you recall a phone call?
Yeah, he used the car more
In
times than
which-
that. I agree.
Jarvis asked you some things about your vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And you've heard that call before?
Yes.
Okay, and was that call that I played for you, is that a fair and accurate depiction of the call that you had with
Yes.
Jarvis and him asking you about the car?
Yes.
No, I'd move for the admission of people's proposed exhibit 13.
Any objection?
No objection.
And
Okay.
Your Honor, may I publish?
Yeah, it'll be admitted as People's Exhibit 13, and you can publish. Can I also see Exhibit 12 when you get a moment?
Yes, Judge.
May I approach?
Yes. Thank you.
And for the record, this phone call is 6 minutes and 43 seconds long.
This is a phone call from the.
You didn't get what she said?
Wayne County Jail. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. The inmate has requested that you pay for this call. If you don't wish to talk, hang up now. Thank you for using Tell Me. Yeah.
Anyway, I got one more for you to do. 313-207-2195. Hello?
No, nobody has been found.
Huh? Zero.
And yes, for those of y'all who are asking, they did search the road areas.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Alright, well, I don't know what the fuck going on, man, but yeah, they done did everybody shit.
You said what?
I said, I don't know what the fuck going on, but they done did everybody shit.
He said he doesn't know what's going on.
Everybody house? They come to my shit? I don't even think they know of me.
But I need you to, anything that I had, anything that I touched.
Y'all hear this?
Just
He's saying get rid of everything, clean the car, anything that I touch, anything I had, just get it out of there. Idiot. I'll run it back a little bit. Wow.
anything that I had, anything that I touched. That's for yourself, man. Anything about me, man. That's for your goddamn self. You feel me?
Yeah.
Huh?
She said, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so.
This is his ex, y'all.
Go to mama's house.
Go on.
Yeah. Go to my house, man.
Alright. How you calling me?
My house, I'm doing something I ain't supposed to be doing. But go to my house, man. I'm a car.
Huh?
Go to my house, get mama a car.
Get her car?
If you gotta go home, use her car.
Okay.
I agree. She should be locked up too.
If you gotta go to your mama's house, if you go to mama's house, like I said, go home, use her car.
So don't use my car though.
I don't know what's going on, bro. They're taking everybody out, bro. Use your mama car, man, and drive around, man, trying to fix yourself with your mama car, man. Your brother car, somebody's car. This shit is beyond.
Okay.
Others beyond me. I don't know what the fuck, man. Clean them motherfuckers up or something. I don't know.
My car?
Yeah, they got my phone. They got my cars. They got their cars. They got their guns. I don't know what the fuck they do, bro.
He's still acting like he's innocent.
Yeah, but what the fuck did that got shit to do with me is what I'm saying.
Liar.
That got shit to do with me, man, and I'm not understanding what the fuck is going on. You feel me?
Yeah, you see that? Amy in Texas says, I don't know nothing, but clean out the car for me. Come on, man.
I'll call you later, man. Like, I don't know what's going on here around this shit, though. This shit's starting to piss me off.
Okay.
I'll get in touch with you later, man.
Okay.
Alright. Hello?
Crazy.
Hello.
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it depends on when this call took place.
Yeah.
My regular job, 6:45. Probably about 7:30. Right. 2020.
He's saying he loves her as he was with somebody else. It's
Now,
all these different people.
what did you think when Jarvis told you those things?
I didn't know what to think. When he told me those things.
Thought I need to clean out the car, I
What
guess.
did you do in response to receiving this call, if anything?
Nothing.
Okay. Did you clean anything up?
No.
Did you wipe anything?
Do y'all believe that? Do y'all really believe that she didn't do anything? I don't believe it at all.
Down?
No.
Okay. And that would be in your house?
Yes. House, car, everything.
Okay.
Didn't touch it, nothing.
All right.
Stop it.
So, just to clarify a little bit, Jarvis borrowed your car on the 9th,
Yes.
brought it back the 10th in the morning,
Yes.
Did-
Yeah.
about 6 a.m. or so, or in the morning?
In the morning, about 8:30, 8 o'clock.
8:30. All
I
right.
was taking my son to school.
Okay. And did he borrow it later that day again, or the next day?
She definitely did, Miss
I can't
Ely.
remember if it was later that day or the next day. I just know he did it again.
Mhm.
Okay.
No, this isn't even his fiance, y'all. This is his ex. We haven't gotten to the fiance yet. This is his ex who he called.
Good afternoon. Now, you indicated that you knew Mr. Butts since 2019.
Yes.
Correct. You met him at the shop, correct?
Yes.
At his shop.
Yes.
Would you describe your relationship with him as a
Whole.
I'm sorry?
You said as a whole, we do.
Would you describe it as a physical relationship, or was it a real relationship?
It was a physical relationship.
Okay, so you knew Mr. Butts was seeing other people, correct?
Yes.
All right, so that's not a surprise to you,
No.
correct?
The fact that he lied to me, that's a surprise.
Oh my. She said the fact that he lied to me was a surprise.
You knew Mr. Butts was seeing other people, correct?
Yes.
All right, so that's not a surprise to you,
No.
correct?
The fact that he lied to me, that's a surprise.
Okay.
Idiot.
About
So he would tell you he was coming over,
Yo, what?
and
Come on, man.
you didn't know
Dang.
where he was coming from, correct?
yes.
That's nothing new.
That's
Oh my gosh.
Do you know, besides your daughter with Mr. Butts, do you know Mr. Butts' other children?
I met quite a few of them.
Okay. Have you met any of the other mothers?
About two in the beginning of the relationship we had. He introduced me to about 2 or 3 of his baby mothers.
Okay. And have you had any issues with the mothers?
No,
Okay. So you know Mr. Butch works as a mechanic, correct?
yes,
And have you ever seen him wearing safety glasses in the shop?
Where did he?
yes.
Okay. Safety glasses are clear.
Where do they
aren't
find these people?
They're not those.
They're not.
They're not the kinds that I've seen. No.
Okay.
Where do they find these
So
people?
he borrowed your car on the 9th, correct?
Yes.
And you said he came over around 9 p.m.
Yes.
All right. When he came over 9 p.m., was there anything out of the ordinary that you noticed?
No.
Okay. Did you have
Of course
a
not.
conversation with him that
Of
day?
course she didn't notice anything. She was surprised he lied to her. How could he lie to me? This. Whoa.
We swapped out cars.
Wow.
We had a quick swap out cars, and he was gone.
And there was no other conversation
No.
that day? You didn't notice anything about his appearance? Didn't notice anything about his demeanor?
No.
Okay. And you say he came back the next day?
Yes.
All right.
The next morning.
Could he have dropped your car off?
I just can't
later
believe
that
this,
night?
man.
I mean, earlier that night?
No, he did not.
He didn't
Wow.
drop it off at, say, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning?
No, he did not.
Okay. And you said that your son...
This is wild.
And forgive me, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but there was a lot...
Nah,
of
be
things in this
disrespectful.
car. Is that the condition the car always was in?
Yep.
I mean, my
Chicks
son
like
has
this.
toys. There's always stuff in there, yes.
Okay.
Car's gonna be
But,
looking wild.
It's only my kids' stuff that be in my car, because me and my kids are the only people that really be in my car, or my mother.
Okay. And
Cap.
your testimony is Jarvis Butch, prior to the night, had never been in this car before?
Oh, no, he's been in my car.
Okay.
He's been in my car. I take him places.
Okay.
This is insane.
So, your son finds... the
Got a
glasses,
whole love
correct?
triangle
And
to
you
go
say
with
he
it.
finds the glasses, this would be on the 10th? He finds the glasses?
Yes, either the next day or whenever. I don't remember what day, but I know the next day. It was the next day we went over. Yes, it was.
So you're not sure what day the glasses were
I'm
found?
not sure what day the glasses was found, because I went to his job twice
Okay.
after that. So I don't know which day. I don't know if it was the 10th or the 11th.
So it could have been either day.
Yes,
All right.
but
And
it was in my car.
so your son was playing with these glasses.
Yes,
There was nothing remarkable about these glasses, correct?
they were just clear glasses.
And you couldn't identify the glasses and say, hey, these glasses were smaller than a normal pair of glasses. These must be a pair of kids' glasses, right? You couldn't say that,
He
correct?
said they were his son's glasses. So, is he saying as his son, that would mean it was a kid glasses, right?
Okay.
What's she getting an
So you said-
attitude
you
for?
said
You
it
see
was
the
the same
attitude?
Yes.
Come on, lady. Oh my gosh.
And
Mr. Hawthorne.
I'm sorry.
Oh, she's got a lot of kids. She's got about 6 kids. She asked him about the glasses, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know." And she said, "Okay."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're all over the place, Bama Law. We've all seen them.
Okay, go right ahead.
All right. So you said your son was playing with the glasses, correct? And you took the glasses from your son, correct?
Yes.
And what did you do with them once you took them?
He was playing with them when I was up there with Jarvis. When I took them from him and said, "Those are not your glasses," Jarvis took them from my hand.
Okay. So you didn't examine these glasses, correct?
I looked at them on his face, and he was playing with them on his face.
Okay.
So how can I not examine these glasses when I'm looking at my son with these glasses on his face?
I mean, you didn't study these glasses, correct?
No, I didn't study these glasses,
Okay.
but they were clear and they were on my son's face.
So later on, you showed a picture of Naziah Harris, correct?
Yes.
And you saw her wearing clear glasses as well, correct?
Yes.
At the time you saw her with the glasses, did anyone tell you that she was missing?
Yes, they did.
Were you-
And they showed me the picture.
Were you aware that she was missing?
From the news?
Okay. And were you aware that Mr. Butts was a suspect?
No,
Okay.
not at the time, until they came to my door.
Okay. So when you told them that these glasses, you saw glasses similar to this.
I didn't tell them then.
Okay.
I didn't know about that until after.
All right.
It took me a minute to think about the glasses
So you came back and told them later.
when they came to my house.
Why are we stuck
that
on the
you saw
glasses
a
then?
pair of glasses in your car.
Yes.
And the best you can say is that these glasses may be similar, correct?
Maybe what's similar?
Right.
Yes.
You cannot testify that these are the exact same glasses, correct?
No, I cannot testify those are the exact same glasses.
Can you tell whether the glasses had prescription lenses in them?
I didn't put them on my face, sir, so how
So-
do I know?
Did your son say anything about that?
No, how would he know? He said he was, what, 6, 7, 5 at the time. So how would he know what prescription glasses
Chicks are allergic to accountability.
You wearing prescription glasses, right?
Yes.
If you take them off, you see differently, correct?
Yes, but I did not put the glasses on.
Yeah.
So how will I know they were prescription glasses if I didn't wear them?
My question
My son
was-
wore the glasses, so how am I supposed to know? I don't have his eyes.
My question was... did your
You're not
son
on trial,
say
lady.
anything
Just answer
about
the question.
glasses?
He
didn't
was
say that.
playing with the glasses, and I told him to take the glasses off because we didn't know who glasses they were.
Okay.
I didn't know if they were prescription, so I told him to take them off. When he take them off, he handed to me. Oh, Jarvis said, "Oh, those are my sunglasses," and he snatches it from my hand.
Okay. And what did Jarvis do with the glasses?
I don't know. He went towards his car.
Okay.
She said, "How dare you
You
question
didn't think
me?"
anything else of the glasses, did you?
No,
Okay.
all he said was those were his sunglasses at the time.
You're employed?
Yes.
All right. And your Nissan, was that your primary mode of transportation?
No.
That was a secondary car?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't drive my car. I use my mom's car when I'm working.
So is the Nissan your car?
Yes, it's my car.
Okay. And Mr. Butts called you and told you to drive someone else's car?
Yep.
All right. Just one moment.
I don't know
So
why
he
he's
told
stuck
you
on the
that you didn't do
glasses.
anything, right?
No.
You didn't think anything of it,
No.
correct? You didn't clean out this car, correct?
No.
So anything of Mr. Butts would still be in this car, correct?
Yes.
Who
You got
cares?
any further questions?
Any redirect?
Yes, Judge. Ms. Johnson, you were asked about knowing that Mr. Butts was seeing other women,
Yes.
Aiding and abetting.
but you said he lied about things.
Yes.
What is it that he lied about?
About how many women, if he was still dealing with the women.
This lady's a clown. Yo, she said, well, he lied about the number. He didn't say, I knew he was dealing with other women, but he didn't tell me that it was Keisha. He didn't say that it was my sister. That's the part that bothered me. He lied. Yeah, Mo, I put it up on the screen earlier. Oh, this lady's a clown.
Okay, so you didn't.
Y'all see what I was saying in the chat? Still a victim. She got to be a victim somehow. Lady, you're not a victim. You knew exactly what this man was about. Everybody who was around him knew. and you had kids with him and turned a blind eye. Stop it.
Didn't know how many women were out there?
Yes.
Okay. And did you
I
know
just thought it was one or two.
that he would be dealing with women at the same time as he was dealing with you?
And yeah,
Yes.
I'm going to object at this point. I'm not sure what the relevance of that is as to this.
It's very relevant.
It goes
You
to
have a response?
Yeah, it goes to whether or not he would be like whether he's secretive about things, whether he would know about.
He's very secretive.
1 second, Miss Johnson.
Yeah.
It's okay, 1 second.
I mean, that was really that was really the extent of the questions.
It was asking across how
Yeah.
many women he slept with,
Yeah,
Dummy.
whether she knew.
wanted to get. That was really the extent of the question.
Terrible, terrible question by the attorney.
Yeah, just was he a secretive person to you?
Yes, he's very secretive.
Okay, and
What else did he lie about?
when he told you a reason why he wanted to use your car, did you have any reasons to think that that might not be true?
I honestly thought it was for his son. So, whenever he says anything about his kids, I believe him when it comes to his kids. I thought he was a great father to his kids. That's what he put on to me, but
Okay, so that's what he led you to believe.
yeah.
Okay. Nothing further, Judge.
Yeah, and I actually got a couple of follow-up questions.
Go ahead.
Now, you said that he was secretive, correct?
Yes.
And that's when it came to women, correct?
Yes.
That bothered you, correct?
I mean, it would bother anyone when a man is supposed to be telling you the truth and he being really secretive about everything. When you're being honest with them,
So you were upset about that.
honesty
So you were upset about that, correct?
about him being with other women, cheating. Not really, because I was.
Y'all, this is wild.
You all gotta be quiet.
No further questions.
Any last questions, please?
Look at her with the attitude. Rolling your neck. You're an idiot, lady. All this time, you knew exactly what was going on. You knew exactly the type of person he was. Still kept moving forward. Had kids with him. Taking him back and forth. Allowed him to borrow your car. Didn't ask questions. What do y'all think about this? Let me know in the comments. Bamalaw says, I'm surprised she hadn't said, oh, he came by one day and asked to borrow my pistol. Of course I said yes. Yeah, I need to go out and run some errands. So I left the kids there maybe once or twice. Y'all thought that was bad? Wait till you hear from his fiance. Hold on, it gets better. Or worse, however you want to look at it. We've got Jarvis's fiance in the building.
Give the court reporter your name right here, and then I'll swear you in. Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Yes. Watch your step. And once you get situated, you can hold that whole microphone with the little white cap on it in your lap, or just lean into it. You just tug it off of it. Yes.
Thank you. Could you state your name for the record, ma'am?
Tashiana Davis.
And Ms. Davis, I want to ask you about someone by the name of Jarvis Butts. Do you know that person?
Yes.
And how do you know Mr. Butts?
He was my fiance.
And do you see Mr. Butts in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you point to him and identify a piece of clothing
Crazy.
that he's wearing?
She's right there with a green top on.
For the record, the witness has identified the defendant, Jarvis Butts, in this matter.
So reflective.
Thank you. And how long, you said he was your fiance.
Yes.
How long in total have you known Mr. Butts?
4 years.
And-
Since 2019.
2019? Is that a yes?
Yes.
And when did you become engaged?
2023.
And can you tell us a little bit about the nature of that relationship? Do you have any children with him? Things
No.
like that.
No children.
Okay. And would Mr. Butts sometimes stay over at your house?
Yes.
How often would that happen?
Pretty often, but we didn't live together.
Okay. I want to take your attention back to January of 2024 and February of 2024. Did there come a time when Jarvis Butts asked you to drive him to court?
Yes.
And when was that?
February 7th.
Of 24?
Yes.
And was there
Yeah.
a time before that that you had to drive him to court?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna
And when
review
was
it.
that?
January, I think it was the 9th.
Okay.
It was in January.
So you've at least driven him to court twice?
Yes.
Wow.
And let's talk about the January 9th date that you drove him. What was the reason he wasn't driving himself? Why were you driving him?
Because he thought he was going to have to turn himself in then for another case, and then they rescheduled it.
Okay, so on the
This is his fiance, y'all, by the way. This is his fiance. She knew who he was. She knew what was going on.
9th, he
God.
was supposed to turn himself in, but didn't actually end up doing that.
Correct.
Okay. And then on the 7th, did he ask you to drive him to court again?
Yes.
And what was the reason that you drove him to court on the 7th?
Because he was supposed to turn himself in.
And did he end up turning himself in on the 7th?
Yes.
Okay. When you were driving him on the 7th of February 2024, first, what kind of car do you drive?
2005 Suburban,
And what color is it?
tan.
And when you were driving him to court, who else was with you, if anyone?
Nobody.
Just you and Mr. Butts?
Yes.
And when you were driving him to court, did you ask him about his cell phone?
Yes.
What did you ask him?
I said,
She-
where's your phone?
She
And
said,
what
who's
was
that
his
texting you?
response when you asked him that question?
He left it at home.
And did you have any other conversation regarding his phone on the 7th when you were driving him to court? And what did he, you said he did turn himself in?
Yes.
And so you drove back home, correct?
Yes.
Did you eventually have some contact with the police department?
Yes.
And where were you when you had that contact?
In the hospital.
And what did they ask you about generally?
Did I know anything about a missing child?
And do you know anything about missing child?
No.
Did they ask you about his cell phone?
Yeah, I believe so.
And did you know or have any reason to believe, other than what Jarvis told you, that his phone was someplace else?
No.
And did you know that his phone was in your car?
No.
Did you give permission to the police to search your car?
No, they just came and took it.
Okay. They had a search warrant?
As they should.
Okay. And were you present at your house when they came and took your car?
No.
And did you observe them search through your car and pull anything out?
No.
Okay. May I have one moment, Judge?
Yes.
And you said you knew Jarvis Butts for 4 years?
Yes.
And would you communicate with him via cell phone?
Yes.
And do you know the last 4 digits of his phone number, if you remember?
9.
If you don't remember,
I don't remember.
okay. With looking at text messages, refresh your memory?
Yes.
May I approach, Judge?
Yes.
If you could just look at the phone numbers on it.
The first one.
And does that refresh your memory?
Yes.
And what were the last?
Yeah, not y'all. We're talking in the chat and in the comments too about these women and him having to type. I guarantee this guy being 6'2", 180 pounds, a light skin. He was probably just standing there and smiled at him. They're like, oh, hey, can I talk to you? I highly doubt he had to put that much work in. I mean, this guy had on an ankle monitor, for goodness sake. He had an ex with kids. He had this one about to marry him. Come on, man.
The first one.
And does that refresh your memory?
Yes.
And what were the last 4 digits of?
Long
Jarvis
hair.
Butts' phone
Yep.
number?
Miss Allie knows. Come on. These are free throws. These are layups. Sad, man. Sad. So sad.
At some point after you dropped Jarvis Butts off at the courthouse and he turned himself in, did you go to his place of employment on at 9,000 Connors?
No.
Okay, did you ever talk to his business partner, Cordell Wright?
No.
Okay. I have nothing further.
Thank you.
Morning, Ms. Davis. You met Mr. Butts at Frank's Garage, is that right?
Yes.
And that's where Mr. Butts was working about 4 years ago.
Yes.
You had taken your car there,
Yes.
and I think in your words you said you kind of never left after you met him. Is that
Right.
fair to say?
Yes.
You guys got along really well,
Yes.
and you just kind of started a relationship from there.
Yes.
Would you go up to the garage after that relationship started,
Yes.
kind of just to drop in?
Yes.
At any point in time while you were at Frank's Garage, did you ever see any children there?
No.
Is it fair to say that Mr. Butts was very protective of his phone around you?
Yes.
He would never let you see his phone screen.
No.
Wouldn't
Shocker.
give you access.
No.
Certainly didn't give you his passcode or anything. In fact, you've actually actively tried to get into his phone, right?
Yes.
I think you had mentioned that when he was sleeping, you tried to kind of wave it in front of him to see if
Yes.
that would unlock it.
Oh, oh, I hate to keep stopping this, but this is where we're at. A stereotype. It's so sad when these stereotypes are true. Why are you with the guy that you're trying to go through his phone with? Like, this is the desperation. Y'all hear it. Laying next to this guy, didn't trust him, couldn't get access to his phone. So she's got to hold the phone up to his face while he's sleeping to try and go through it. For what? To find something that you already knew? You already knew you couldn't trust him, so what are you looking for? Boy, these type of, man.
You took a picture of his face once and tried to
Yes.
put the screens together.
Come on, man.
So you wanted to know what was in his phone.
Yes.
And he did not want you to know what was in his phone,
No.
as far as you know? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Did you ever talk to him about why he was so secretive with his phone?
Yes.
And does it have something to do with the fact that he was seeing other ladies?
Yes.
And you suspected that at the time?
Yes.
And so that's why you were looking for proof?
Correct.
Okay.
And you suspected at the time. That's why you said yes when he asked you to marry him. They accepted him seeing other women. He just,
So even though
they
you
had to know about
suspected
it?
that
I
Mr.
don't
Butts was unfaithful to you, you still stayed with him.
Yes.
One reason
Thank
for
you
that
for
is because
asking
he
that
was good
question.
with the kids.
Yes.
He cared for your kids.
Yes.
He took them places.
Yes.
all right, I'm not going to stop it anymore. I'm going to let it play. But let me rewind that real quick. The reason she stayed with him was because he was good with the kids.
These niggas lacking.
Lock her up.
You were looking for proof?
Correct.
Okay.
I can't, man.
So even though you suspected that Mr. Butts was unfaithful to you, you still stayed with him.
Yes.
One reason for that is because he was good with the kids.
Yes.
He cared for your kids.
Yes.
He took them places.
Yes.
He took your son up to the shop.
Yes.
He showed him how to change the oil in the car.
Correct.
And you viewed him as a good father figure.
Yes.
Did you ever see anything inappropriate or that would cause you to see a red flag with regard to him and your children?
No.
Did you ever see him acting inappropriately with any other children?
No.
Certainly if you had, you would not have allowed him in your house.
Oh,
Fair to say?
absolutely not.
Stop the cap.
You knew that Mr. Butts had other children, right?
Yes.
With a woman named Angel
Yes.
and a woman named Shannon.
Yes.
He talked about his children with you.
Yes.
Did he ever talk to you about his niece?
No.
About how often would Mr. Butts stay with you on any given week?
Maybe like twice.
Were they like the same days, or was it random?
Random.
Okay.
They need to.
About what time?
They need to talk to. They need to interview all of these women's kids that he was around. All the nieces. I mean, even the nephews. I don't know. They need to do it. They need to interview all of them as a part of this investigation. Get CPS involved. Something.
What time would he come over?
After his work hours. After like 6 o'clock.
Okay, so you think he would
This
come
is
kind of
tough,
straight from
y'all.
work?
No, he would probably do something else and then be there later on in the night.
Okay, so closer to like 9, 10?
Yes.
Okay. Would he stay the night with you?
Till about 2 o'clock in the morning, 3, and then he would leave.
Okay. Do you know
He'd
how
leave to go to
he
Shannon's
gets
house.
your home?
A couple of times he was in a white truck, a white Cadillac truck. Sometime I think he would walk. If he was coming straight from the shop, he would walk. Or if he had my truck, that's how we would get back and forth.
And that's the Suburban?
Yes.
Did you know Mr. Butts to ever have his own vehicle?
Yes. He had a white Chrysler.
They ignored it for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And when did you know him to drive that?
Like maybe the first 2 years we were together.
Okay. Now, when Mr. Butts would come visit you, would he park in your driveway?
Yes.
Would he spend weekends with you also?
Yes.
1 second.
There's no way he was getting away. He was getting away with everything. There's no way he just started and stopped with Naziah. There's no way. He was getting away with it over and over and over. He had multiple women. Kids with multiple women. He was good with the kids. Like, come on. And
Ms. Davis, I just have a couple more questions for you. Ms. Quick asked you about Mr. Butts being secretive with his phone. Can you tell me about a time that you had a conversation with him about him being secretive or something like that?
He would never really say anything. He talked in circles. So if you try to ask him a question, it's just always, you can never get a straight answer out of him.
But fair enough, you had multiple conversations about his phone and your access to it, I guess, or,
Yes.
or lack thereof.
Yes.
And Ms. Quick also asked you about Mr. Butts staying over the night, or staying the night at your house. You said that he would leave around 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Do you know where he would go when he would leave?
No.
Did he ever tell you where he was going?
Home.
we can guess.
Did you know where he himself called home?
Yes.
Where was that at?
Wilshire.
We can probably guess.
And you said he would walk from his place of employment if he was coming straight from there, right?
Yes.
How far from that on Connors, the auto shop on Connors, do you live? How far of a walk?
No, that was when he was on Warren.
Warren and Neff?
Yes.
How far of a walk from that location?
Like 4 blocks.
And did you ever see him drive but not park in your driveway or out front of
Yes.
your house? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
He parked around the corner and he would walk to my house.
And do you know
He
the,
was in the white Cadillac truck.
you said Cadillac?
Yes.
Oh. Was that an Escalade? If you know.
I don't know.
Okay. And do you know the reason why he would park around the corner?
I don't know. I asked and he would just be like, I didn't drive.
But then would you see his truck?
I
Wow.
was in the truck.
May I have one moment, George?
Yes.
Yeah, so he couldn't see whose car. So she wouldn't see whose car he was getting out of, probably.
One last question. You said he lived or called home on Wilshire?
Yes.
Have you ever been to that house?
Yes.
Have you ever been inside that house?
No.
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Miss Davis, you were down testifying.
All right, that's Miss Davis, his fiance. I'm not even gonna ask that question. I would be interested to see what happened if he got out, if she would still be with him. History tells us most likely, which is unfortunate to hear this woman say, knowing who he was, that she kept him around, not because she trusted him, because she didn't trust him. She was trying to break into his phone, not because he was a stand-up guy, because he lied about certain things. He would go in and out of the house crazy times of night, but because he was good with the kids. Wow. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments and in the chat. Y'all are saying it, man, and thank y'all for being so active for this one. I wanted to go through closing arguments. We might get through those tomorrow. We've got a lot we got to talk about, because especially with that Drake lawsuit coming out, it's 81 pages of craziness from what I'm seeing. So we're going to talk about that, possibly some tomorrow. I asked y'all if you want me to live stream the trial starting tomorrow, and most of y'all are saying yeah, so we might get into it. So we might actually start the day tomorrow with closing arguments. I'm going to find out what time court is starting, and then we'll move things around based on that. But if y'all haven't yet, please make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time we go live or drop a new video. I've got a couple clips dropping for y'all this afternoon, and then going into tomorrow morning. Yeah, we're gonna go through this trial, and I want to hear really from the defense, because I think the state's case is pretty open and shut. They may have a little bit of issue because there's no body, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But from the defense side, how do you defend a guy like this? That's what I'll be interested to see. Based on the facts, I think it's going to be an uphill battle for them. Either way, thank y'all for liking the video. Shout out to everyone who showed support and sent in the super chats. I appreciate y'all, man. Alejandra, Les Cleaver, my guy, and Dr. EJ, of course. We will be back tomorrow morning, so make sure y'all tune in for that. Also, if you enjoy independent artist music, make sure you tune into the Song of the Night live tonight. It's going to be a great show. We're going to hear some great music. You guys will get a chance to vote and decide which artist is your favorite in the Versus Challenge, and you'll get an opportunity just for tuning into the show to win $100. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of y'all tonight. We'll definitely be back here tomorrow morning for the Music Morning Show. We don't miss. I appreciate y'all, man. We're on the road to 100K. So make sure y'all subscribe and share the video out as well. Hope y'all have a great afternoon. And of course, keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We gone. Peace.